Welcome to Journeys of Empowerment. I'm Michiel Suitcase. This is a space for slowing down and paying attention to what is changing beneath the surface. Through honest conversations with aspiring, impact-driven female founders, we explore the moments that reshape us, the questions that won't go away, and the choices that quietly alter the direction of a life. Sometimes the path that once felt right begins to feel a little too small, and something quieter but more honest asks to be trusted. These conversations live in that space. What if certainty was never the goal? What if life was always inviting us to trust ourselves a little more, even when the next step isn't fully clear? In this episode, I sat down with Alina Hekelaar, co-founder of Work Wonder, entrepreneur, community builder, and someone who's learned to keep moving forward without needing all the answers first. We explored what it was like growing up in post-Soviet Ukraine, leaving home at 17 to build a new life in a new country, and carrying the pressure of proving herself through study, work, and achievement. We talked about entrepreneurship, painful business setbacks, the weight of responsibility, and how motherhood became an unexpected mirror that revealed deeper patterns around boundaries, self-worth, and self-care. We also reflected on that shift from survival mode toward a more conscious, aligned way of living and leading. One sentence stood out. Every day is a new chance. I treat it as a new day and do everything in my power. This one keeps returning. You don't need all the answers before taking the next step. Listening to Alina reminded me that growing up is rarely about eliminating uncertainty. More often, it's about developing the trust to keep walking, learning and becoming. And when the path ahead is still unfolding. Let's get into it. Here we go. I pressed already recording. Alina, welcome to Journeys of Empowerment.
Hey. Hello. Hi there.
I just briefly prepped you. We've been through some notes and then right away challenge you with the question I'm going to ask right now. And so Journeys of Empowerment is, of course, a conversation or a sort of invitation, if you will, to pause and reflect and to look back at our amazing lives and journey, which we often tend to, like say it is a line between A and B, but it's a bumpy road. It's with all life challenges, setbacks, pivotal moments, breakthroughs, whatever came on our path. And ultimately, I believe that what we can learn a lot from our journey, but also there's a strong alignment, much more if we pause and reflect, a strong alignment between all the things we went through and why are we doing the things we're doing, and why do we care so much about them, and also the question about the future: who do you aspire to become?
Yeah. That's a beautiful question. I think it's what you were just saying about pausing and reflecting, right? It's one of the things that, unfortunately, in my case, currently, I don't do enough. I am honest from the get-go, and when I do give myself that luxury, and I really go inwards, I just see this beautiful mom of my son who is giving emotionally available childhood and being present overall, and being a good wife to my beautiful husband, being a good friend with a value of honest person, you know. And of course that comes towards career and work, and there I still have a bit of work to do. I'm currently 35, so when I became a mom, I started to question, you know, who I want to be in my career. So if I could fast forward the time and sort of, you know, like if I could imagine for a second where I am, I would have loved to run some charity. That would be like my true calling, because when we shortly spoke this morning, when we just met, we found out that we know Wouter together.
Yes.
And like he's set up this amazing foundation for Ukrainian orphans, and we've been collecting laptops. So I'm a volunteer and on the board, and I just like in the last 2 months I've been like flourishing inside by doing that. I've been doing a lot of volunteer work and charity since the Ukrainian war started. And that's something I think that like you asked it just came, Work wonder is there, but like this came to me like truly from the heart. So I think like if I get the luxury at some point to move it towards that direction, then I would love to do that.
Do you believe it's a matter of if or when?
I think it's when, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I believe that too,
Yeah.
because I think I can feel, you can see the intrinsic motivation behind it, and you're already involved in a foundation. So I believe that is a matter of time, and the intrinsic motivation behind it. So it's not a matter of if, but it's when. I believe that
for sure. And also, I've been like, if I look back at the student years, I've been always running charities. Actually, like as a student, it was something I worked behind the bar to pay my bills, and we just organized these charity events for. There is different causes. I always came up with one, like it wasn't the problem to be creative. It's just like to, it was just this motivation, like you say, from within. And I also ran a marathon in 2017 in New York, and it was with Dance for Life. So I was
beautiful.
Like, their number one. I raised around 15 grand for the charity. Yeah.
Wow.
Just by. Or like 30, yeah. Anyway,
I think it would be great if you also meet with my one of my best friends is Robin Intorn. We just briefly spoke about him. He's a Marine and he's a veteran and multiple tours, for instance, in Afghanistan. And he's really moving the needle when it comes to speak up about mental health challenges, also within the military, and then especially also in the Marine Corps. Where I'm a former Marine, he is a Marine, and but also he speed marched 2,000 kilometers with a few Marine buddies to Ukrainian border. He couldn't cross the Ukrainian border at this moment, but and gathered a lot of money to educate the psychiatrists to help veterans navigate the severe mental health challenges after or during the war. And but I think it would be great if you two meet. So Robin, if you're listening, buddy, I think you have to meet Alina. Yeah. So beautiful. We also agreed upon a central theme, which helps us and hopefully also the listener to sort of navigate through your journey. And we agreed upon building self through uncertainty. While that seems like a very clear, concise, understandable central theme, there are always words in a central theme. It's not necessarily this one, but we think we understand the same way about that word, and then we discover, if we ask, okay, but what is the definition for you for a specific word? Then we find out, hey, we have two different interpretations, and then it's more an assumption that I do believe that we're on the same page. So let's get on your page when it comes to building self through uncertainty. What is for you self?
So self, definitely. Just me, right? Like, so a human being that wakes up every day, that has her own goals, who has family, who has business to run. So like it's just a very complex, like actually being self is also probably what comes to mind is like true self. So how are you, whatever you do, a decision you take, or how you treat the world, the people around you, is like how well do you know yourself in that and your needs. I think that's something beautiful I've been focusing on in the last couple of years, probably thanks to my son, who challenged me in that question is, Mom, do you know your boundaries? You know, that's what he started teaching me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big mirror, right?
A very big mirror, triggeringly.
Yeah, of course.
Triggeringly big mirror. So I've been, yeah, it's been a tough time to kind of face it, but at the same time, super nice to, you know, finally have that mirror that will show you a little bit more of yourself. So yeah, for me, self is just probably that.
And it is Journeys of Empowerment, and it is a personal conversation, and it is non-edited. So here we go. Allow me to ask the question, what is, if you think about the mirror and your son is mirroring you, and what is for you the most profound sort of discovery you would have, is there a discovery that you didn't know before you had your son?
Yeah.
About something you really need as a person?
100% boundaries. Very clear, big words in my, you know, right now in my forehead, boundaries. It's just something that a child really needs. A child strives from, in my opinion. So like really clear, you know, but that's of course in order to communicate your boundaries, or at least to show boundaries to your child and what's allowed, what's not, when do you cross them. You also need to understand yours. In my childhood, I'm really lucky with my childhood. However, of course, the post-Soviet Union education of my parents has not, they haven't had that luxury at that time to learn, you know, and I think that I didn't grow up with very clear boundaries as a child. So, which of course has advantages, but let's focus on what I'm trying to convey towards my journey becoming a mom. That of course the fact that I didn't learn it, so it's really hard for me to get through in a new culture later because of that as well, one of the reasons. But then of course when my son started to 2 is nee in Dutch,
ik
right?
ben
like,
2
so,
en ik zeg nee.
Yeah, so that was my first learning, really like hard learning curve. Like, okay, I need to say no, and it was so hard for me to say no and be. I felt so strict, and I felt so like I'm not a nice person or something because I'm saying no. Yeah, so that's it was. So the learning was really, the mirror was like, okay, if I don't do this, this is gonna only accumulate. But I'm very lucky that my husband has a very good boundary. They grew up with 4 kids in their household, in their home, big family. So I think their parents did really well on that part, and so he also was very clear.
So you have 2 mirrors at home.
Yeah,
you have 2 mirrors at home.
Yeah, actually, yes,
wow.
yeah. So he showed me how. And, you know, it was kind of not really, he just, at some point, he was like, I see you struggling. I really feel for you because it's really hard on you. I can see it. So he kind of like, in a very interesting way, without any push, he was really guiding me through it. So I'm really happy that, that I had him as a, you know, guidance in this. So I must say, like, I've been enjoying it so much lately to say no, although it's still really hard for me at times.
Does it feel really natural, and the default mode is still yes, let's go, instead of no?
Yeah. It's more of it's still I need to pause. So that's what we said, like it's a luxury to pause. So I think that's the most important factor in this, is just not to rush and just to take the time, and sometimes also say like, I don't know, to your, well, he's not 4, to your 4-year-old, it's like, Mom doesn't have all the answers. And
you don't have to necessarily, right?
Yeah. And I just like, let's keep it as it is, and let's revisit it later. But in the moment, hard, you know.
It is, but it's also, you will figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
And yet, if you think you figured it out, then all of a sudden your son gets in a new stage, and then you don't know the new manual or the new chapter of the manual, and then you start all over again when it comes to the. So you will get there because you're aware. You're aware, and I believe in a lot of challenges, life challenges, that awareness. Real awareness, not only cognitive, but also really feel. Okay, I'm aware. I feel what's happening in my body. If I don't do it, what if I don't? Then you feel that right away, the tension in your body. Then you know, okay, it's not about knowing; it's about the feeling. Yeah. And then that awareness, when that's there, that's the starting point, in my opinion, of learning. And so, hey, Alina, before we jump into your to all the way in the time capsule, all the way from the beginning, you're a co-founder of Work Wonder. What is Work Wonder all about?
Yeah, it's. I was at the event yesterday, so I've been pitching it. All day.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so Work Wonder is an AI-powered platform for company culture management. So actually, at the moment, we are solving one of the most common problems that companies face. Is how to engage employees in the current world post-COVID, AI, remote work. So there's a lot of challenges at the moment, and there is no central system that is really in place to sort of help companies navigate that change. And I've learned the problem on the market, and we've built a tool that actually helps them manage the whole process around company culture. So we first get to know what employees actually really want. We are right now, the first solution is to give them the tools to get together more often and to do it effortless. So you can pick a date with your teams easily. You can know the budgets that are given by the company through the platform. You can vote for activities, which is a lot of times something that is being given to you by the team lead or the company. So it's just like, oh, we all go do X and that's it. And we've created a bit of from the within. So we ask employees to vote. So the team lead can, for example, choose, okay, we're going to go collect plastic, or we're going to do a Lego workshop, or we're going to do a cooking workshop. So we have right now around 100 vendors on the platform.
Wow.
So it's, we're trying to grow the vendor side and make it easy for companies to create this very measurable impact, and also keep it very central. So that's a little bit about Work Wonder, yeah.
Beautiful. And you mentioned you pitched yesterday. Why did you pitch?
I was at the Upstream event.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I flew from Portugal here to Rotterdam. Actually, they had it's for founders, investors. So there are lots of stands with different VCs, angel investors. So I've been visiting also their side events. It was really lovely. Also, I met really nice people, like good for Work Wonder, but also just really nice conversations. I was really actually surprised about openness of some angel investors I talked with. And, for example, sharing my story and challenges that I faced, and how eager they are also to help you and navigate you in that space. We're too early for VCs. We don't have yet a monthly recurring revenue that is, needed
for the stage and the early investors involved in. So exactly. It's more angel in the angel area, right?
Yeah,
So, for instance, Adventure Platform, just to name one.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, these kind of the angel syndicates or group of angel investors that are right now we're talking to.
Yeah.
We also applied for Rabobank Innovation Loan.
Wow.
Yeah, we're part of that. I should be pitching soon as well there. So very exciting. Because it's an innovative product on the very old school market with team buildings and workshops and events. So we're bringing a bit of a new, fresh look into this. And
Interesting. And so let's circle back to the theme. The theme is building self through uncertainty. You are a co-founder of a startup, Work Wonder, and but let's go all the way to early childhood. Where did you grow up? How was childhood? And also figure out, hey, and what is the alignment with why you're doing what you're doing? So, Alina, stage is yours. Let's go all the way back and take us through a little bit the road towards, well, the point you're now, and also very curious about the why behind the why you're so invested when it comes to foundational work, charity work, helping other people in need, why it's so important for you. But let's figure it out along the way.
Yeah, really excited to look into this together. So I grew up in Ukraine. I was born in 1990. That was still Soviet Union. Funny enough, in some documents, I still have Soviet Union as a country of birth, which is incredible as well that it doesn't exist, luckily. So I grew up in a very, let's say, uncertain time. So probably navigating through uncertainty also starts there, right? Because my parents had to stand in a line sometimes for baby products and things like that. So I think that was a tough time overall for a lot of people, navigating that big change, but also I think very positive change. And so I grew up in a city called Vinica. It's central Ukraine. I have a sister, and then I think fast forwarding that a little bit. I started to study English when I was around. Well, you have lessons at school. Let's start with that, but that's very basic. And I think probably why I'm saying it, because I think it's one of those decisions that's been really important for my life later. My father has been working with one man, and he had English school. It's called Vinica English School, and they just met randomly on the street, and he said, hey, my daughter is studying in the Netherlands, and she works for Danone, I believe, at that time, or Unilever, maybe now, right? She has such a career, and he basically sold him this beautiful picture of his, very ambitious daughter living abroad, and something clicked in my father's mind, and he came home and he shared it, and he said, Alina, you just need to study English. This is one task that you need to do. And he just had this idea for me, and I loved it as well. I'm pretty good with languages, so I thought, let's get. So in 2 years, I learned English well enough to do the IELTS exam, which was one of the most important conditions to go to university in the Netherlands. And and off we go. I am in the bus, like a van with 6 other Ukrainians from my class that we all studied English together. And we're driving 40 hours to the Netherlands. Let's
get back to that moment in that bus. Can you remember how that made you feel?
Excited. I was so excited. I back then it was really the time of Skype and camera that was attached on top of the laptop, if you were lucky to have a laptop. So that was 2008. I'm in the bus. I was really excited. I think I just didn't know. I was 17. I didn't know where I was going. I knew the capital, if I did, of the Netherlands. I knew that I'm going to study there. It was really, to be honest, if I look back, I'm like, how? Because
just did.
Yeah, very limited information that I had as well, what's going to be, So that was, and the funny part was also my parents, they didn't know a lot about how it is in the Netherlands. I mean, they've never visited the Netherlands. Luckily, we did visit. I was abroad, so I've been abroad by that time to Germany and to Russia back then as well. We had some family living there, so I at least have been to another country, two by the time. So I had an idea how it is. So they gave us potatoes. All the parents were really, I don't know, they had the idea we're going somewhere where they don't have potatoes, I guess, while, Dutch is obviously export potatoes,
yes.
One of the top, maybe number
exporters,
one exporters of potatoes. So I had like onions and things like you would be,
the suitcase full of, nice.
If you looked at that bag, you would be like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
And border control back then was not that strict. So there we were driving, and you asked me how I was feeling.
Yeah.
So I answered excited, and I just also was like, why was I excited? I had this, it's a very important story. So, my parents were, Ukrainians are Orthodox, so we believe in God, or at least, on the more on a nation level. And my parents are not religious people in terms of going like to church and stuff, but they, for some reason, like we believe in God, I was baptized, and they sent me to the religious camps because I was doing sports. So I was really good in acrobatics. I did it since I was 7 years old, up until I had an injury. But the funny part was that they sent me to this, and the first year I went, I was probably 14 or 15, and I was really happy, excited. But I quickly figured, like, there is a mismatch. They don't go to church, they don't pray on a daily basis, they don't sing to God songs in the morning, and then they expect me to go to this 2-week camp, which is very religious oriented. So, and my mom always said, like, Alina, it will be good for you because, you need guidance. So she always kind of treated me as there was something wrong with me, but I was like a bit of a rebel. I had a bit? Yeah, parents were tough.
If I call your husband, what would he say about your rebellious side?
Yeah, very.
Okay, there we go.
Extremely. Yeah, he will definitely tell you I'm extremely rebellious. He has to deal with it as well.
I can imagine.
Daily. So pretty much summarizing this to the bigger picture is like they did that, and I communicated to them, I don't like it, I don't want to do this. I'm sorry, that doesn't fit what I want in our education. What I want is not really what's allowed as much, or like parents know. Parents are important. They
but the authority you have to listen to. You have to.
Yeah.
Well, you have to comply to.
Obey.
Obey. Almost obey. Yeah. But you didn't.
No, I didn't in this particular. Pushed the idea that I didn't believe in myself. So the second year I said, no, you gotta go. We already paid. You have to. And I said, no, I'm not going to go. So, yeah, it's not some story that something like I'm not ashamed of, but I'm always sometimes like a bit like, oh, I need to say it,
Where should you be ashamed of?
Yeah, because I just like,
did you say no? Did you say no?
No, I didn't say no. I said no.
Yeah, you said no.
I said no, but they didn't listen. So I had to go to the more extreme measure. So I went drinking with my friends, and I just went straight, and I drank vodka, and I finished it with beer because I knew that will, make sure I'm not feeling great. No. So unfortunately, I had to do this kind of extreme measure in order to be heard. We laugh now with my parents about it, and we talked about it. And it's they accept. They're like, yeah, well, they understand that it wasn't that great. But it was probably one of those moments when I really I had to stand for myself, and I was like, I'm going to take measures like this just to. So yeah, I wasn't feeling well the next day.
No, of course not.
And they couldn't send me, so I won.
Mission accomplished.
Unfortunately, I had to do this, but I won. Yeah.
That's interesting because then you weren't a mother. Then you hadn't had the mirror, and yet you say no.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, maybe remember this moment again. When you are at the crossroads of an important thing and it doesn't feel right, maybe go back to the young Alina and go back to this point and think, hey, okay, I don't need to drink vodka. And that's the wrong following sequence. So vodka and then beer.
Yeah.
It's the other way around. Normally that's better, they say. So,
I just asked my friends like who were older and they were already in the drinking game. I was like, this is what will help and, help you achieve the goal you have. I just had one goal. How am I I was like, what can I do in order not to go? Because I've been saying, I've been repeating, I've been explaining. So I, went through all this process of kind of, please hear me, I'm here, to taking extreme measure. Luckily, I was safe and everything was fine. So that's also good now, being older, looking back. I'm like, but yeah, it also teaches me, of course, in the overall now with my child is like I would love to give him the space to be heard, and but of course we break certain chains with my dad, my parents both, but my dad particularly, he wanted me to break the chain. He wanted me to go from Ukraine, leave Ukraine to study somewhere, possibly to come back and bring this knowledge. Didn't happen at the moment, but yeah, he believed in.
But also beautiful that your father met randomly on the street someone. He had a conversation, then it planted a seed. Then he planted a seed at home, and the rest is history. And helped you altering the course, the trajectory of your life, and you went abroad, and you came to the Netherlands. Then you came to the Netherlands. Then what? How was that for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. Now, if I look at Alina, me now looking at it, I see like, wow, how did you do that? And that was tough in my mind if I look back. But when I feel or like transport myself to that period of time, I was of course very excited. It was freedom. I lived with Marina, my friend from childhood, who lived also close by me back home. We shared a room. We were 6 people in the bus who were going to the Netherlands, so we had a friendship already with few people. So I felt not alone. That was really important. And but culturally, of course, with a new language, with a new culture. Luckily, it was Groningen, so it was a smaller city. It was very international, so there were like students from all over. So it felt really good. It was a very nice start. However, of course, given the fact that I studied English just for 2 years, in a intense way, and that was difficult to study. I remember that I read the book. I must have told you this already at our first conversation. I don't remember, but I read the book about marketing. I studied international business and management, so I read the book, let's say, about marketing. And then first I highlighted, back then it was like these highlighters, very...
Marcus die glowers.
I love that you have one here. I love to read with it. So I would highlight the words. I would check them in a dictionary. Back then, still not Google Translate, I think we used already a little bit, but it wasn't that big of a deal yet. So you use dictionary and a bit of internet, and then I still try to understand the word, and then I close the book and I'm like, what is marketing? Because I, of course, focused on the English. Go back, open the book again, and now with my highlighted Ukrainian, little explanations, I read the book about marketing. So it was really double effort, I would say. Just the first year was really difficult. I hustled a lot because in 2008, when my parents sent me to the Netherlands, the educational costs were already quite high. I think it was something like 4,000 euro, while for the Dutchies or EU residents, that was half of the price or even less. Given Ukraine was non-EU, that was double. And then in 2008, the world crisis, of course, hit. So what happened is like my Ukrainian hryvnia towards euro was like 1 to 8, and then all of a sudden it's 1 to 16. So for my parents, it's double the amount. I'm 17. Of course, they support. I didn't work up until I was 17, so I faced a situation where I just was like, okay, my dad said, we can pay for your studies, but let's agree that you try to find a job. I also really wanted to work, so that was great. And then I started working, and that wasn't easy to combine. So it wasn't easy because I worked behind the bar. I had the most, you would never guess, like my first job before the bar, even what I did. No, you want to try?
Can you give me a little hint?
It was like helping someone.
In the hospital?
No, but nice. I was curious to hear. I was reading books to a older Dutchman.
Yeah.
Who had a disease, like a focus disease. Yeah. So he loved studying reading, but he couldn't do it himself. So I was reading English literature of his choice to a guy and getting paid for it.
And you had to read in English.
I had to read in English.
So it was win-win-win.
It was a win-win. It was money. I would get money. Of course, I get paid. I was paid 10 euro an hour, which was
not bad.
Yeah, at that time it was really like gold, Yeah, so I had like three things in one, that I was doing. So yeah, so then I worked behind the bar, started to, of course, it was really hard to combine late nights. I would sometimes work till 7 a.m. The bars opened student life, so it was you need to clean and finish casa, whatever. So it was early mornings, and then of course you eat, not so well because we would eat kebab after work night, and so it was health-wise. I don't think it was the best time, but it's a student life, and then combining that was really hard, and I think that's when I started to hustle a bit. Because I realized, I can't skip working because I need money. I can't study full time because I need to work. So let me try to figure out a way where I can do both. But then, of course, I had to find a way to do both, right? Mm-hmm. So I was buying packs of cigarettes for my classmates who smoked. From Ukraine, which was quite cheaper. And David, beautiful, thank you, David, if you ever listen to this, because he helped me through statistics, we had statistics and stuff, which math is not my strength. And I just said, okay, well, I need to find a way to, finish this. And I have a goal. I need to not let my parents down, to invest in me, So we had a deal. He would put his little notebook where he wrote for the exam a bit further on the desk. Yeah, I would be able to see it. So some things which were really hard and I didn't have time for, I would cheat a little bit. Yeah.
Well, sometimes life needs a shortcut, right? So
it was a shortcut.
But it's beautiful what you mentioned, and it's beautiful, and it also resonates with them. It does something with me, and that's what you said about I don't want to let my parents down. Do you believe that was the first sort of goal you succeeding through, or was there another goal besides it? What was the driving force, you being there and needing to succeed? What do you think was the real fuel?
I think it's two things. It's definitely that I was really afraid to fail as a person myself. I don't know at the moment where it comes from per se, but I just was whatever it takes, I will do it. So I had this sort of maybe I will be shamed and talked about or something, because we were also 6. And then one guy dropped out at the first semester because he couldn't take it. And, now if I look back, great, like if you don't like it, you say no. But back then, I just had this, it's too expensive. My parents did everything for me. I have to not let... So it was a combination of me not wanting to fail and at the same time, me not letting them down. So it was I don't know which one is first, but they were probably somewhere like simultaneously going hand in hand. No.
When is a failure for you?
Fear of failure.
When is a failure for you? So when is a failure to you?
I think it's just like...
I know it's a hard question.
Yeah. It's just like me not being able to do stuff. So failure is like... In my head, failure is just shame. Everyone talks about it. Some kind of... like, oh, she couldn't do it. So it's. I think it's, of course, the emotionally unavailable kind of childhood in a way that I couldn't cry if I felt bad, or I couldn't. So I didn't have space. And again, my parents are lovely, amazing. They did really a lot of great things. Unfortunately, that was not one of the things that worked well for me. So I learned just that, like, you can't fail. Or at least you need to do everything in your power. Try not to fail. That's probably more it. Like, whatever it takes. And so coming back, what is failure is probably just this feeling of letting down again. Either me or my parents or my partner or my friend or, someone.
Where are you in the equation?
Yeah, right. Well, feeling the first one, that I let myself down. Yeah.
May I share what I came to believe about failure?
Please. I would love that.
I believe there's only one failure. One. And either we win or succeed or figure it out. That's on the one hand. Or we learn.
Yeah.
So either we win or succeed or figure something out. Or we learn. And the only failure I come to believe is that we refuse to learn.
Yeah.
It's only...
I think it's a good insight, like what you're sharing, because I think that now, having had so much, education in ACC, so the Academy of Coaching and Counseling, and going through therapy, couples therapy, I went like quite deep into understanding my own needs and what I want to do with like how I carry myself daily, because I wake up every day, and I had a moment where I struggled with what I'm gonna do, and that's why I want to be honest, that sometimes you see a picture of a person. That's why I shared with you that it's very hard to come up publicly, because it's a lot of times like celebration or sort of I did this or this or this, but like a lot of times it's not really talked of what took you to come to this, even to like upstream, what took it to come to me. Like, if you break it down, I leave my child with my father, with his father, so with my husband. We need to make sure that everything is arranged. This. There are so many steps to one decision that you make. The
one visible decision. So we tend to look at the visible part of the decision, but when we look underneath the water, like the iceberg, which comes above the water, but the whole under the water situation with managing the family, taking care of, properly care of, who's doing what, the traveling part, all the arrangements you have to make in order to be there.
Yeah, and you also think like, is it worth it, right? Like you want your return on investment. Is it important? You're a business person, so you need to, every euro you spend, like we're bootstrapping. I've been investing my money into this. So like I am very careful with every decision I make, especially now since we moved, we're living currently abroad. So you think twice, and I think that's beautiful, because you need to think twice with every decision you make, financially or not. Yeah, so failure. I think that now, having gone through all these steps and learning about myself, it's much easier to go into the process and be like, I know that it, and I see also that every step I took, it teaches me something and brings me closer to a new point of my life where I'm, like, I needed this for this reason, or this event was important for that. And after event, I sometimes think, or after something, I think like, oh, why didn't I spend my energy on this? Like, maybe should have gone, like maybe slight regret. And then after a year or two sometimes, or you never know, I'm like, this was needed. So you can never know, what kind of, where you come and where it comes from. So
yes.
Indeed, it's a learning.
It's a learning opportunity. Everything is a learning opportunity.
But
right?
it's only since I started accepting it on a daily basis, like, hey, you're doing your best. I am waking up every day with like, my husband is good at that. He's like, every day is a new chance, and you just wake up and like, I have this sort of motto: it's a new day. I can treat it as a new day. I will do everything in my power, what I can do in this new day, and I'm going to do this for myself, of course, but also have fun. And so this have fun thing, I've been repeating it to myself a lot. Coming here, just have fun. Allow yourself to, just sort of also take, like, this experience.
You be you.
Yeah, me be me. And I think that took years of therapy to come to this. Yeah, luckily.
Yeah, you mentioned two very big life concepts. They are far more easier to say than to embrace, and it is allowing and accepting.
Yeah,
those are big, deep concepts in and on its own. And I'm still figuring out, also for myself, but I truly believe from all the comments on posts, on conversations I'm publishing with amazing, mostly impact-driven female founders, is that I'm still don't have the answers about why is it so difficult, why is accepting so difficult, and why is allowing so difficult. Do you have an answer for yourself? Why is it so challenging to just accept, just allow? It can be so easy. The moment we accept something, how does it make you feel? Very good. In control, right? Liberating. And yet, it is not easy. Why do you believe that it's not easy? That it doesn't come easy for us? Why for you, for instance?
I think it's a combination of, life is, in essence, I think, is a complex overall concept, in the sense of that we come with past, we come with generational, so it's like, of course, your parents, your grandparents.
Ancestry.
And then how, there are decisions that's been taken back then that influence who you are today. So generational, like, for example, for a lot of Ukrainian people, just because I'm Ukrainian, I can share it. Like, we've been going through every 10 to 20 years, everything was collapsing. And so, for example, my parents didn't have anything to, we couldn't inherit anything. So it's always this, like, you build, you lose, you build, you lose. And it's a process. So I think that if it was so easy to, like, to accept, or it wouldn't be so, like, I'm coming back to this life is complex, just because you don't know what's there, and until you figure out, or you take steps to at least try to learn it, and then you can try to accept certain things, or then you can carry it a bit easier in your decisions, life, etc. So I think that it's a process, like you said. You're still figuring it out, and I think everyone in general, and like once you figure it out, same in business, but for me it's also in life. I sometimes think like, oh, I have the perfect now, I don't know, some kind of phase, like everything feels under control, and then there is something that pops, and then you need to deal with. given what happened with the war and how it changed all our lives as Ukrainians, but also as people in general, I think, what happens in the world. So there are external circumstances which are harder to accept. So yeah, I think if it was easier.
No, it was. It is a challenge, right?
Yeah. I think if also you need to go through certain experiences and pain in order to learn to accept. It's otherwise, what are you accepting? You know, like you kind of need to suffer. Yeah.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that in order to learn and to?
I think you need experiences, and sometimes they're unpleasant. So suffer maybe is a big word, but like you need an experience in order to teach you sometimes something.
Yeah, and that's always fascinating. I'm trying to rebel against. Do we really all need to learn through lived experiences and before we are able to learn? You know, you see, history is repeating itself on itself in every aspect of life. War, financially, markets, whatever. And so we become wiser when it comes to availability of knowledge, of history. Just study history. It will help you to prevent X, Y, Z. And then we step into real life. And then we jump right away again in a new generation in the same sort of. So, do you really believe that for big life questions we need to have our lived experience instead of we can learn it from a podcast or listening to or reading a book, or what do you believe?
I think that maybe, you don't need to go through a very big, heavy life lesson, to learn something. I don't think that. And I don't think that. But I just think it's very hard sometimes to hear, let's say in my story, like if I went through something and I share it, I think it's really, you can learn a lot from each other. I get inspired with podcasts, which I listen or reading books, and from my friends I learn a lot. But I think truly to certain like a mirror, like I had to go through motherhood in order to mirror myself. Yeah. So maybe I'm not referring to some big events that you need to suffer, because maybe the word was very like heavy.
Heavy, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe sounded even to me heavy. But I think that you need to go through uncomfortable experience. Same with going there to pitch, or out of your. I do want to say that we should be all in our comfort zone in order to feel good, because that's you don't want to step out of your comfort zone. You want to be
not?
in your.
Where do you think we grow the hardest? Inside of our comfort zone or outside of our comfort zone?
I think you grow most out of your comfort zone, but I always say like. It's better to step into your comfort zone. Like you shouldn't do something too out of your, like with your boundaries, I guess comes back. So I think just learning this through experiences is probably something that makes the most mark.
And now you're a founder, a co-founder. Where did the journey all started? So you come to the Netherlands, and then you studied in Groningen. You hustled. You did jobs aside to have to pay for your living. And then, at what point in time did you decide to become a co-founder of Walk Wonder? What was in between that period? Well, and the transition? Well, how logical was it? Is it a logical choice that? Is it an expected logical choice that you one day you would be an entrepreneur?
I think right away, yes.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with a family who were entrepreneurs, and they sold goods from gates and taught me this entrepreneurial mindset for sure. So like if I now say yes. However, of course, as a nonny, you resident coming to the Netherlands to study, I've been given a year after. It's called zoekjaar, which helps you, gives you 1 more year after studying to find a job within your profession. If you don't, you go back home. So I had 1 year to make sure I score a job that fits quite a high profile, because it's a kennismigrant.
Yeah.
So you have to comply with certain salary expectation, which was an entry-level job. It was quite high. So it was like, who's going to pay me coming from just university with, I did internship at my study, so I had some experience, but you know how that will work. So
for instance, to give an example, when you started working, you were a junior, but the expectations when it comes to the rules and regulations was maybe a mid level salary.
Yeah, if I remember it right, it was like something like 2.8K or for an entry level job when was it 2012, 13? It was quite, it's quite high. It's quite high.
Yeah.
So I think that was like the turning point. I moved to Amsterdam. I'm looking for a job. I postponed it because I was working still in Groningen, and I needed money. So I was like, okay, when do I, make this really career job swap? So I went to Amsterdam. I lived in this little 10 square meter room with my friend in Amsterdam Noord, with no heater. Living conditions were quite bad.
Challenging.
Challenging. Like we shared one room. We slept on a mattress without a bed. Like, this kind of style. But we just both were looking for a job, so we had a goal. I remember going on the bus. I got invited. I sent like 100 applications, my CV everywhere. I didn't care, to be very honest, what I'm going to do. I just wanted to secure my visa. So my goal was just like, okay, find, of course, the job relevant to what the expectation is with IND, the salary expectation, and my goal was just to purely stay. So I was sending CVs every weekly, hundreds of them, everywhere I could. I got invited to a couple of interviews, but I remember only one, which was the one. So I was on the bus, and I remember I was on a tram actually, and I was reading. I was not prepared. I was working still, and so I'm on the train reading what the company does because I'm going to an interview. And then I just, for some reason, I misspelled their website name. So I wrote, instead of Q, I wrote C. So I'm reading, I'm like, furniture, web shop, and they're selling furniture. And it was so funny. So I'm, of course, coming to a job interview thinking I will be selling furniture. Little did I know that I arrived, and it's like digital marketing, like agency company, and I'm being interviewed, and I just like, okay, well, great, let's play along with this. But the guy, he was my manager later, Sjoerd, and he loved my mentality. I think he also was studying in Groningen, so we had this really nice click from get-go. We talked about, I had experience in e-commerce shop in my internship, and they were doing digital marketing, so it was quite a match. I got invited to the second interview, and it just went pretty fast. I escalated I worked there for around 4 years, I believe. So I went from junior to senior account manager. So I grew quite fast in my young career, and then I got approached by a corporate company called Shutterstock. They're US based, stock photography, very, very nice offer. I couldn't resist. I was really young, and I think I was 27. The offer was like brilliant, so I thought, let's go. So I did that, and I was very close to get my nationality. So I was studying Dutch, because then it's a next
for the inburgering.
Another level again of new language on top. So I got the Dutch, I applied for the Dutch and Dutch nationality. However, it was like in the last year already I couldn't have like gaps, but I decided to take a risk and go to Shutterstock because it was just really great offer. So I actually like made this first kind of like out of my comfort zone decision because it's like safety. I got some offers already in those 4 years, but I never dared to leave. I wanted to secure my passport first. So coming back to your question about entrepreneurship, I said to myself, once I get Dutch nationality, I don't have visa issues. I feel safe and secure here. The first thing I'll do, and it was a contract with myself. The first thing I'll just do whatever it takes to just try to start something on my own. Shutterstock, great career. I flew to New York, setting up their biggest digital affiliate. They call them like free stock websites, signing long-term contracts. Like it was really cool opportunity.
Nice.
Yeah, it was honestly like if I look back,
entrepreneurial within a growing company is also entrepreneurship, right? So setting up, for instance, a subsidiary or whatever is also an entrepreneurial thing because it wasn't there before you came in.
Yeah, definitely. And this was like given, I could just like test it and see how it works. But my first job was really some skill set that I learned of like also digital marketing. So then I started testing a little bit because I knew I was approaching my soon to get nationality and this contract with myself. So I just thought, okay, what can I do? So I started doing digital marketing on a service-based, a little bit here and there. It started to work. I made some money first, freelance kind of invoicing to first clients. And then I thought, this is like very similar to what I was doing in the first company. So I can do this. So I made a decision. I was approached actually by one of the ex-colleagues of mine. He said, I want you in a team. Let's do this together. And we met a couple of times. And then overnight I was like, okay, I bought my apartment as well in Amsterdam myself with a corporate job. So I kind of like had my first
bucket list
list that I wanted to do with security. I had them checked, and then I was ready. I just knew. So overnight I was like, okay, I'm quitting my corporate job. And the hardest part was that they really loved my mindset and how I was working. So they started to go after me and propose me like better 30. I got 30K bonus.
No.
To signing
bonus
for only half a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before we move on, why do you believe? You mentioned two times now. They loved the mindset. What do you believe they specifically loved when it comes to the mindset? What do you mean? What do you believe about the mindset? They were willing to pay a 30K signing bonus with only an extension for 6 months. What do you believe they are aiming for with that amount of money?
I just had this... it's a mindset and a skill, so it goes somewhere hand in hand. I just never kind of, how to say it the right way, because I have the word neggy, but it's not what I wanted to say. It's more like I saw always a solution, and they loved it. They're American-based company, New York, American mentality, think big, do big, this kind of style. And I could really fit well in that kind of way of thinking. I was like, okay, we can't do this, but how do we get there? So I always was the one in the team, like a little bit more, I'm not the best executor in the sense of like, I don't love to follow up on contacts and do the COO kind of work, but I'm very good at, let's find solution. This is not possible, but there should be a way. There should be a way it's possible. So I would contact departments which were like different time zones, and I would find my answer. I just call them. I would just push, and be like, this is the mindset that I was referring to. I just would find answers.
Yeah.
And they loved it. They of course, it's, you know, it's always a lot of energy around, like, let's bring this, let's do this. But I had a team which was saying, Alina, like, we do this, you do that. So it was, that comes back again, I guess.
Complementary
skills.
And may I share with you what I also hear?
Yeah.
Because, of course, it is, but I also hear a combination of a possibilitarian. So you see possibilities where others maybe not. And also hustling. So you right away, you have a target, you go for, you fix it, you will do it. Because it's interesting. A lot of things we can learn, but also a lot of important real skills we can't. It's also a matter of personality. It's a matter of, okay, but if everything is against you, what are you going to do? How are you going to handle that situation? And if everyone says, no, you can't, then you're going to prove them wrong. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. It's a possibilitarian, and also hustling, resourcefulness. So you will figure it out. So that's what I hear. But maybe it doesn't ring a bell. It doesn't resonate. But
yeah, it does fully. I think that's the key words. Definitely that you picked it really well. It's just excitement to get things done. It's just something like sort of a game within my inner self. I can't really explain to you how it really works, but it's the same now with Work Wonder. I just say, okay, I don't have this yet figured out, but there must be a way. Who can help me in it? So I sort of just always like, that's my end goal. This is my possible step. This is my, I don't know, but I can, of course, figure it out. Can I do it myself? Should I involve people? So, you know, so it's just like really kind of I think I'm a believer. I just really believe, and I really act upon believing. I joined one like peer sessions is where we all call our customers. So twice a week or so, I do cold calling. I just take a list of 100 companies and I call them. And, hey, what do you do with company culture?
Wow.
How do you get it done? I'm curious to learn from you. Can you tell me? Yesterday, you know to who I walked up to?
No.
CEO of Fastnet.
Oh, nice. Interesting.
I don't know if he's the CEO, but he's a founder, the main person. So, because I'm just not sure if his role is CEO, but just said he mentioned something about team culture. He said, we want people to celebrate their achievements. And I just came to him, I was like, can I schedule 15 minutes with you next week? I just so want to learn from you. I want to know, what do you mean with company culture? How do you approach it?
Interesting.
It's like, you know, and I just stand there and this little girl in me like, should I do it? Should I not? Then I get the stomach feeling like, you know, like this nervousness. And then I think, but you know, what do you have to lose?
Yes, that's what came onto my mind is what can you lose? Ultimately, what can we lose? The only thing is, okay, no, I don't want to spend time for it. Okay, then, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe culture isn't that important for you.
Yeah.
Wow. And you mentioned also a contract with yourself.
Yeah.
That's an important one, right? A contract with yourself. So you've been through multiple challenges, coming from challenging background all the way to where you are right now. And now we align it also to who do you aspire to become? What is in your personal contract within the coming 5 years?
Nice. I think at the moment it's just I'm very comfortable and happy with my current stage I'm at in my career. So with my startup, I learned so much. I just couldn't have learned anything like this of course, not in every job, but I'm not saying that, but like it's a choice that I consciously take right now to just get as much knowledge in this particular field and meet as many founders and broaden my network. So I think in the coming 5 years, I definitely just want to become better in the current field and develop myself further in this. I think it's a game to get a big investment. For some reason, I just I don't have. I would prefer to be a bootstrap company, a part of like angel investors, sure, but like VC world, I still doubt for my own path. But like
I think it's a healthy stance. As a founder, it is a healthy stance.
Yeah.
And you will figure it out, okay, at what point in time am I in my own way of my own growth with the company? Then it's another discussion. But until now, I think it's a very healthy, entrepreneurial, real entrepreneurial thing, boots on the ground, bootstrapped, and just hustle your way forward, right?
So I'm currently focusing on clients, and it's so basically just I think in the how I see myself in next 5 years is definitely just going for it. I wanna get. I told you the game word comes so many times, but like I have this contract with myself. Like, hey, I got my first 10 customers. How do I now go to 20? What steps do I take? And I told you, I call companies every week. So I just like sort of enjoyed, right now I really want to enjoy the ride. I think it's my really energetic. I'm not saying that later I won't be an energetic person, but I think like right now I'm defining really also like how I'm going to go, right? Like in the next 5 years. So I'm just, I just want to spend the energy on like a sponge, getting as much as possible in this field, because it's a very different. So because we touched upon this me being, with a possible bonus and decision to make, and
it's good to circle back.
So that's probably all kind of coming together in the picture, because then I just had this contract with myself. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do this. I had someone that really wanted to do this with me, so we were a team. We formed a team, and he believed in me really, so I'm really grateful for that as well, because I had this also like someone who just came to me to say like, I believe in you, so like it was an extra push for me. And I thought about the bonus, I must say, like I really sat there.
Tempting.
Very tempting, and also half a year, like
half
and
a year.
salary.
If you divide it to 5 months, up to 6 months, plus your annual, plus your salary, then it's well, it's nice opportunity money, right?
I had those also like vesting shares that every basically month was also good. So like it was just something to consider. But I grew up in a mentality where my parents just like really sort of like seed. You use the word. He planted the seed. My dad and my mom as well. So like they really did something there, and then. It was in the end, it was hard, but it was easy. Do you know what I mean? Like it was hard because I had to make a choice, but it was easy internally. Like I was just like, once I made the decision, I was just like, I wanted to move to New York. The other step would be, so I had two things. I'm going to New York and I'm going to work on my career and become, I don't know, some there. Yeah. Path A, and path B is entrepreneurship, figuring it out again. I have a mortgage to pay, so like how I'm going to do that. I had savings, so I had a certain amount of runway for myself. I just met my husband at the time, so I also started dating him, and it was also like, do I go to New York or do I stay, because I like this guy. So there was like few factors in this,
Interesting, the tension of opposites to do it.
Super opposite. I knew if I go to New York, we're not going to make it. Like it was distance.
No.
It was just like, so it was really, but I think I went through so many uncertainties in my life.
You were circling back, building self through uncertainty.
Yeah, so I kind of I allowed myself at that moment to choose for steady, a bit at least, as if entrepreneurship is obviously not steady at all, but like at least I'm not going to move again to another country. I'm not going to, turn my life upside down again. I'm 27. I met this guy that I really like. maybe, I want to build family. Like, these thoughts came to my mind. So I just chose that, and I'm very happy I did. That was probably one of those big decisions of my life. And we had an office in Amstelveen with this person that I was referring to, with my previous co-founder. I biked there every day, pushed. We didn't make any money for, I think, the first 5 months for sure. And then there was just really great wave that we call with digital marketing.
Launch your customers.
We found our partners, customers. It just started to go. I had up to 10 employees at some point, office in the center of Amsterdam on the canals. Like,
nice.
It was really nice, yeah. And then COVID came. I had an unfortunate situation with one of the business clients, like partners in a way, who had to pay us a big amount of money, who didn't. And that was actually really, it was very life-changing as well, because it was very unfair, and it was really big amount. So like, it was really not nice to go through, but at the same time, it made me question again, like, what am I, and what am I doing? Who am I, and what am I doing? And I'm very happy now, as a silver lining,
in
that
hindsight, that it happened.
Yeah, because it kind of also swapped my whole way of thinking.
What did it teach you, that moment, or that incident? Costly incident, a paid academy. Did you ultimately get the money or not?
No,
okay, but okay, so it's opportunity cost. But what did it bring you? What kind of insight did it give you?
Because we had 2 times a similar situation, digital marketing. Well, in any industry, you know that you can get unpaid, and it's not really industry related. It just also happens. People. It's business. I think what it taught me. Again, navigating through uncertainty, because I didn't get paid. Meaning we were like a digital agency, so we had to pay to our partners. So it was like a margin that we would take in between. But meaning I still need to pay others. I'm very transparent and honest business person, so we pay them. We didn't just chicken out, so we paid them. And I think the learning was just that I stay true to myself and my values, that I don't let other people down. Although it was very expensive, like, to do so, but we did that. And I think the second one was just sometimes something is given to you that feels like a failure. That's the word coming in. It felt like a bit of a failure, but like, it feels like something, that you didn't deserve and stuff. But if you wait a little bit and you see it back, it was really sort of a gift in a way as well. But it took time to see it this way. Now it's a scar, and it's not a wound anymore that, I can talk about it very openly. But it was a lot of sleepless nights. It was a lot of crying, because you feel that it's unfair, and, like, you feel like you will let people down, employees and people. But I made a decision quite soon. I thought I will sell. By the way, I bought my co-founder out at some point. He moved countries, and he went to do something else. So I bought him out at some point, and so I was alone in this process already when it happened. And I was overall feeling like, I'm lonely, all the decisions are on me, and so on. So I kind of made the decision to sell my database to my top client, and to call it, like a day. So it was great that I still could come out of it, in a positive moment, and not, but it was just like a sign, like, hey, think about
letting go,
and
choose for yourself. And then what?
Because I felt like, hey, we didn't get paid. It was. I'm open about it. It was 100,000, which is a lot of money for an entrepreneur.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and then we paid minus 20% margin we took. So you can do the math, and so it cost me a lot. Luckily, we were in a good, positive position.
Cash flow position.
The company was doing well, so we did that. But then Why did I say that? Because of the decision, right?
Yeah, like the decision, but also what was the amount of pain you were feeling, and ultimately you allowed yourself to, well, let's say, see it as a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
And now it's a scar; it's not anymore a wound.
For sure, and it was it's interestingly super great. I'm grateful for this particular event because it was of course it's a lot of money, but it was only 100K, because the scale of business of growing and partnerships that we had, it could have been way worse. We could have bankrupt. Like if I didn't take this decision, I knew many other companies later that the industry was also getting a bit shaky. So for me, it was a really good timing to step out. Yeah, really. Now I'm very grateful, but back then I was not.
I thought didn't feel like that at that moment.
I didn't feel at all. No.
And then when did you start thinking about Work Wonder?
Yeah, so when I became a mom, it's a little bit, so that year was like, I am still running my digital agency. Yeah. I became a mom, and the work comes in while I was still pregnant, actually. So I remember it was 1 week after I gave birth, and usually in like first week of the month, I do financial reporting of my company to get paid and close the invoicing. So I remember I have like a newborn, it's 7 days past. I just remember it's 7 May, and I'm like sending invoices, and my husband comes in and he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, yeah, well, and I'm an entrepreneur.
I have to run a business.
Yeah, run a business. Nobody, like, we were a small team because it was already COVID. We closed down the office. We worked remote quite a lot. And it's like, yeah, I need to run my business so it doesn't stop. You know, if I stop, then the whole thing stops. And then, so in the end, that happened end of the year. And that's when basically I went, so I made the decision, and then I went to the Academy of Coaching and Counseling because I was on my maternity leave. I decided to give myself 1 year break, be with my son, because I already like worked the first half a year. So then I thought, well, let me catch up on mistake. And then not a mistake, but you know how it felt like a mistake.
You were also in a treadmill of being the entrepreneur and working. So you at least you were aware about it, and you made a conscious decision to, well, let's say, did you right away knew it's going to be a year, or did you say, okay, at least a certain amount of time, and it turned out to become a year?
It turned, like, I kind of had an idea because I was calculating like a little bit, like a bit of basically few factors, like, okay, my son probably, you know, like at some point, he can go to kindergarten. I'm comfortable if he goes from this age. For example, for me particularly, I have a luxury night to take a break. Let's give myself, I've been working since I was 17. I never took a break. I never had a gap because I couldn't, because of visa. So, like, you know, there was accumulation.
Constant treadmill of going.
Yeah, it was a constant thing. And the part of that, I told you, I was running a marathon. And, like, if you put it all together, you accumulate a lot of, you know, go mentality. And, like, this year, I can't say, honestly, I was on a maternity leave because I was searching again what I'm going to do. So I can't call it a year break, but at least I didn't every day wake up with, like, you know, a company to run, for sure. So that was nice. And then you asked me how I got to Work Wonder. I took a business coach, Elisa. We know her. She was your guest.
Elisa Fiot.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Really lovely lady. So I took 10 sessions, I believe, with her. So like a trajectory of let's get all together. But I needed a bit of guidance in, like, I'm good at this, I've been doing this, you know, and I always, like, kind of undermine my achievements a little bit. So I couldn't just sort of put it all in a nice, more visual way, like, hey, what is it that I want to do? And also I was doing because I was given, like, hey, here is your job because you need a passport, you need a visa, you need. So the word was need. And now the word was like want. what do I want to do? I'm a mom. Whole reality is new, right? Like everything is changed. My whole purpose feels different. So like, what is it that I actually want to do? So questions, of course, every day. Like, hey, reading books, ikigai and all of that. You know, we all go through this,
search for meaning, going deep internally, inward.
Yeah. So I did the work and I did because that's why I told you, like, I couldn't sit still. So I went for 1 year academy of
course.
Of course. Like, if you even put that together, it's a lot. But, you know, it feels good. It felt right. It's a lot of times if I do something, it does feel good, you know. So that was my sort of inward work. And that kind of taking all of that, I was also always doing events as a sidekick. I always loved bringing people together. I'm always the person in our group, friends group. I'm always the initiator. I'm connecting people. I'm married to couples. You know, like I really just want people to enjoy or something. You know. So even in my first job, I was just always like, hey guys, we should do something all together as a team, this team spirit. We gotta go, we can't just only drink Vrijdagmiddag bottle. We gotta, you know, do something together.
Have a purpose, a meaningful purpose behind it.
Yeah, so that's what I started to pick up on, like all these assignments that I was getting. And I've kind of, you know, made a perfume. Lisa used to call it, like, from the raw materials. I got like my own perfume. So all these all these ingredients put together to make it my own.
Your own fragrance.
Yeah, my own fragrance. So I've learned that I love connecting people, and then I started to think, okay, I did events, I did corporate retreats. So I started doing it as a service for companies as well as a sort of, you know, next step. So first I had this big vision to be the best offsite platform, but then I've learned with the current missions of the companies and also it's once a year. That was not really something that would be a scalable
recurring revenue. Recurring impact is a recurring revenue. So it's a one-off instead of all year round, and it doesn't also necessarily contribute to a sustainable way of working and behavior around and habitual formation, right? So it's more a one-off.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, I think it's important for teams to do it, but it's not, you know, like we did it with the survival camps in Slovenia and like sleeping in nature and like,
which is of course
exactly
beautiful.
It was like still goal oriented, but indeed I fully agree with you. It wasn't something that
recurring sustainable.
Huh? And then started talking to the same clients that were already booking us and trying to learn a little bit, like, what are you struggling with? And then we came to the problem, which we're solving today, with Work Wonder. So that was probably a little bit of like how it all, you know, came together to be Work Wonder. Yeah.
Here you are, co-founder. And, since we're heading towards a little bit the end of this conversation, I also would like to challenge you and give you the opportunity to share what is in short term a critical ask you're thinking. There are always challenges. You're an entrepreneur, and I do admire your entrepreneurial journey, the perseverance, the determination, the you will figure it out mode, your hustler mode. Really pick up the phone and just call whoever it is at Fastnet at a certain level and just ask about the culture. You read something, you think, okay, but what do we actually mean by culture, and how does it work in your company, and what are you doing actively about the culture? I see you doing those kind of calls. Yet we also have challenges. The first question I have is how easy does it come for you to ask for help?
Lately easier. I just learned the hard way, I guess, when I wanted to do it more myself, and that hasn't been that resultful. So I am really, like I'm also really, I love giving. I'm a very giving person as well. Like my friends, my parents, like I don't know, my husband. Around, if you would ask people, I think that they will say I'm a giving person. So I'm also trying to also be like, you give and you receive. It's healthy, It's healthy, and
the law of receptivity.
Yeah, so I'm doing better with that. It took time, again, of course, as it's for everyone.
It's a process. And having said that, what would be then your critical ask to our beautiful audience? Is there a challenge, a big challenge, which ultimately can become an opportunity? And if you don't step into that challenge, it will get in the way. What is your critical ask?
Yeah, I am currently going through a situation with my current co-founder, where for personal reasons he's not able to continue the project in the speed that we want it to be. And I don't think it can be resolved super soon. So we agreed together that we will try to find right now a way where it would be beneficial for Work Wonder to move forward. So I am again in the dating phase of co-founder. Yeah,
interesting process.
Yeah. So it's so I'm right now looking for this crazy, passionate person who wants to join this mission and technical profile, because of course it would complement my skills quite a lot. Maybe product, AI, so something in that kind of mix. So I'm that's right now my.
So you're looking the critical ask. You're looking for a co-founder and who's complementary when it comes to the skill set. So it's more the technical and product and that side. Yet also equally and maybe even more important is, when is a person complementary when it comes to your personal, skill set, your personal? What do you need in order to? What does the company need? What does the company need in terms of personal mindset? Next to you as the co-founder, CEO of the company, what do you believe is needed?
I think what I need at the moment is just that I'm very good at vision with getting clients in, and so that like first kind of approaches steps, and now luckily I built structure around it, because otherwise it's not scalable. So like at least I took the time, like I took a step back to build a whole automation of sales and stuff. So now that's in place, and I think that I need someone who can sort of who loves to execute as well, because I'm really good at thinking and making plans, but I'm less good in really following up on them. So what would complement me really well is, like, it doesn't mean I don't get things done, obviously, right? But like, I need someone who can really do it as their natural
follow up on execution.
Yeah. So executing together and just I think just like this, someone who can also challenge me or not agree with me, because I don't need a confirmation of my idea. I already feel strong about it. So I think I would love someone to be very critical, but like respectfully, obviously, but like someone who can just come and be like, hey, let's think about this. Let's slow down. So I'm speed. I'm fast. I think fast. I'm already
think
probably,
ahead.
I'm already a step ahead right now as well. Like, so like I need someone to just like, okay, let's step down. Let's breathe.
So you are in the 3-1 and year, and you need also somebody beside you in the one in the 12 execution of the 12 months, 6 to 12 months, execution power.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will share in the show notes, of course, your company and also your personal LinkedIn profile. So I think it would be interesting also to ultimately, when it's available, to share on your website or whatever, or in LinkedIn a profile which people can apply. Alina, if we look back and we go all the way back to the 17-year young Alina with all the lived experience, and to many Alinas at 17-year-old, a sort of same crossroad in their life, what would you give them as nudge or piece of advice or whisper in their ears? What would you love to share with them with your lived experience? Which you would love to have heard then?
Yeah. I think that I would have loved to hear just sort of like a confirmation, just in a way, like saying, someone would say like, you're on the right path. Don't overthink it. Do what you think is right, because you can never know. Just do what you have in your mind, and then, follow your intuition with that, and learn from that, and then continue. So like, I think that sometimes at least I'm still even now, like I want to sort of get there already, and I'm not I wasn't focusing on every day to an extent that I was just like, I need to be at the Rabobank pitch tomorrow, and like, only result oriented, and also thinking that that's my sort of success. And I swapped that mentality recently, and I have so much more fun with that. I have so much more fun to wake up every day and be like, well, I'm going to try. What's my success of today? If I do this one task, I'm going to be very happy with myself. Of course, I'm going to do more. But if that one, then I will look back on my day and be like, you promised this contract with myself. You promised you will do this one critical thing that's bothering you for a long time. VAT belasting, taxes or whatever, this one thing. And then I'm going to give myself a pat on the shoulder and be like, you did well. And I'm trying to implement this much more with myself, because I, of course, right now don't have a co-founder who could like kind of help me also be there with me in the hard moment, because I'm a lot of times positive energy bomb that goes. But in my bad days, I really need that someone to uplift me, And right now, in order, like, of course, my husband, my friends support me, my parents. But the only one person who can really do it is me. Yeah. So
wise words. So now here it comes. My last question for today is: if you look back at this week,
yes,
what would be the compliment to yourself about this week, which you didn't already give yourself?
Oh, didn't give myself. Yeah, that's a good one. I think I will just put it on a bigger word. I want to thank myself for braveness. Yeah.
Alina, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really nice.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Perhaps something from this conversation is still settling. A perspective, a feeling, or a question that arrived without asking permission. That's often how meaningful change begins. Stories have a way of traveling beyond the moment they are told, finding their way into conversations, decisions, and chapters still unfolding. If someone comes to mind whose path feels emotion, pass this episode on. And if the desire for more clarity, direction, and alignment has been quietly growing in the background, there's a space called the Clarity Intensified track, an open door for those moments when reflection starts asking to become movement. Until next time, Take this with you gently and see what stays with you.